There was something majorly satisfying about the way season 1 of The End of the F***ing World ended. By sacrificing his freedom and perhaps unsuspectingly his life, James showed Alyssa the true face of love. We of course didn't get to see the extent of the emotional impact that had on her at that moment, but thankfully, where the first season was primarily James's arc, season 2 is all about bringing Alyssa to a place where she can better deal with the world around her that she hates with such vigor. Many have wondered just how The End of the World can continue without James. No spoilers here on whether it actually does or not, but it feels almost secondary to what these 8 episodes want to explore. When we catch up with Alyssa, she's 19 and she's compartmentalized her guilt into a number of safe decisions about her future. All her guilt is locked away behind the same expressionless face she used to protect herself while with James. Naturally, her guilt manifests elsewhere. Season 2 conjures a potentially violent opposer for Alyssa in Bonnie, who was a student of the abusive author Alyssa killed in self-defense in the first season.
I killed someone. On purpose.
The entire first episode is given solely to Bonnie and does a wonderful job cluing us into her quietly unhinged state as she figures out who the killers might be, sending a bullet to both Alyssa and James's residence with their names carved into them. Alyssa's spelled incorrectly. The episode also sets the tone for a slightly darker season, but that doesn't mean this second batch loses the show's biting sense of humor or its heart for that matter.
You look like a princess.
Once the season settles into a renewed groove, Alyssa and Bonnie collide. The middle of the season is tense as hell. Jessica Barden still draws us to Alyssa despite her cold demeanor, and this time around she carries much of the story on her shoulders. But even despite the tension found in the middle of the season, it's hard not to wish the writing brought more issues to light between these two women seemingly capable of extreme violence. There are smart twists that keep the season moving, and every episode ends with a whopping cliffhanger that'll have you pressing play next until the season is up. At just 8 episodes, a few of them just under 20 minutes, there's a feeling of unfound potential between the excellent setup and conclusion. In terms of briskness, The End of the World is only outdone by Fleabag this year in terms of economic storytelling. But with the characters imbued with such intriguing psychological states, there's a bit of disappointment at what isn't there when the groundwork has already been expertly laid. But the conclusion is worthwhile, both for how well the tension escalates going into the last 2 episodes and for how Alyssa and Bonnie's arcs resolve by the end. Alyssa's next challenge, should the series continue, will be to make that resolution last. But if not, Season 2 offers a warm, definitive, bittersweet conclusion to this story. For Alyssa, maybe the world no longer has to end.
It's a nice day for a white wedding.
Though Season 2 could have taken more time to flesh out its conflicts and ideas, Netflix The End of the World returns with an incredibly tight story that introduces an engaging new character in Bonnie and offers a majorly satisfying arc for Alyssa. Darker by necessity, this new season still finds the show's signature humor and heart intact.